Frank Connection presentation.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? Thank you for joining us. It is lovely to see you. Stephen, can you take the floor for 2 seconds?
Sure. How you guys doing this evening? What you guys think of Dynamite tonight? To me, in my opinion, it's kind of an odd show tonight. Pretty odd. How you doing, Lily, C. Henry, Dylan, Kai? How you guys doing tonight? Hello, DM. Kai didn't like the Mina match.
I appreciate you for doing that, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Problem.
I apologize. Thank you guys for waiting. We've got, you're right. We've got a few in the chat.
Yep.
I am thrown off today. I am honestly thrown off today. Technical issues, everything. Like, it's just crazy. Kai says they didn't like it because he just turned it off after the Mina match. That will be interesting. Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yep,
we will get to that. As Kai says, Mina was great as always, but my God, the rest was pee pee poo poo. Look, tonight's episode of Dynamite, it was a bit weird.
It was.
I think that they're trying to refine themselves again here. They're trying to find themselves in a post dynasty environment and to bring back what they had previously. So, yes, I heard that there was terrible audio. That was apparently an issue everywhere except on Fight TV.
I know one thing. Collision and Rampage going to be at Daly's place Saturday. I hope their audio should be improved after tonight.
Do we know if they're live or taped? I'm betting it's probably taped.
I think Rampage is going to be taped, even though it's going to be at Daly's place, but the Collision is going to be live.
I mean, if they're both taped, then they can do post. They can do the audio in post, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But if it's live, they really need to sort something out because clearly everyone was having issues. We've got some good matches coming up on Collision. But we'll get to that at a later time. We've got Jake in the chat as well.
How you doing, Jake?
Stephen, before we go full in crazy in regards to the show, what did you think of tonight's show overall?
Tonight's over. Well, despite the audio issues, I skipped from the scale 1 to 10. I kind of gave it like a 5.
Yep.
You know, I wouldn't really expect anything, not really anything big happen after Dynasty. After Dynasty.
Yep. I think it was definitely a solid show, but it could have been a lot better structured.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's my opinion on it all. I think it could have been a lot better structured. I think there were segments in there that were fantastic. But then there was obviously segments that I would have just placed in different settings. I'd probably put it 5.5, maybe. Definitely wasn't the strongest episode.
No,
definitely,
it wasn't.
But it wasn't the worst at the same time.
I've seen worse, though, as far as Dynamite goes. But very rare you see a terrible episode, though.
Yeah. Sorry, cat moving around.
It's all right. I had Peaches bugging me. She's wanted to be the camera hound earlier tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. That was adorable. I did say hi, Peaches.
Yep. Hi, Peaches. Your Paula waving hi at you.
Yeah. So we started tonight's show with some footage of the Elite rocking up, and they get they show a truck pulling in, and it turns out to be Jack Perry in the truck. See, Henry, we'll get to that very
Yeah, we'll
soon.
get to that, buddy. We'll get to that.
We'll get to all of that. I appreciate the questions, but we will get to them when we get to those segments. That's what I try to do with this show. I try to keep it as a segment by segment sort of thing, but if it doesn't work, that's fine too. We started with the Elite in the parking lot. Jack Perry shows up. The crowd did go pretty crazy when they saw that footage. So the crowd was pretty interested in that. We were then going to go to the segment with Orange Cassidy coming out to the ring, but we find him being thrown out of the entranceway by Trent, not really fighting back. Then Trent calls out Chuck, and Trent calls Orange Cassidy a narcissist because he was supposed to be their mascot. And then we get Chuck coming out, and he calls Trent a piece of shit, and ends up turning around, and they get into a fight. Chuck turns around and says he wants to face Trent in the parking lot because AEW won't clear him. Thoughts on that segment?
Well, it's interesting. I'll say that. So they're going to have a parking lot brawl, parking lot match. Is that going to be on Rampage or Collision?
It's going to be on Rampage. I believe that it had the potential. It definitely had the potential. I think the reason they chose to go with a parking lot match is because of the parking lot brawls that Best Friends have been part of previously.
We'll see Trent's mother, the band, show up.
Yeah. The way Trent was wearing that shirt, I was so scared Chuck was going to do it. I'm so glad he didn't. DM says the only good thing about the show was Willow.
We'll get
You're
to that.
wrong. You are wrong. Speaking of fashion, I love your otter snuggie. Not mine, Lily. Not mine. It's an otter hoodie, and you know who it belongs to. I have just borrowed it because it's freaking cold over here today, and I can't find mine at the moment. So,
what's the temperature over there in Fahrenheit?
Shit. Why do you ask those questions, Stephen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't ask you.
No, no, it's fine. You can ask it. You're allowed to ask it. It is currently 16 degrees Celsius. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's go. It is currently 60 degrees.
Hit 81 here.
Yeah, it is currently 60.8 degrees. Yes, I am wearing it, Lily, but no, it's still not mine now, even though possession is 9/10 of the law. And yes, it is an otter, DM. 50-ish, 60.8 degrees. You're close, Lily. What did you do you think that with this match, we push it to the pay-per-view, like we push it further for Orange Cassidy to get Trent at the pay-per-view?
Well, we still don't know why the reason for Trent with the heel turn. So we gotta hear what he has to say about that part. But yeah, we're gonna see Orange versus Trent, most likely at Double or Nothing.
I think that the reason we got it so quickly for those two is just because of the fact that they need to do something in the meantime of keeping them keeping the feud interesting and keeping it going.
It's about at least a month till Double or Nothing. So
yeah, I like that we are setting up Double or Nothing already. I said this on the post show of Dynasty that we already set things in place and there was things in motion, and I think that they've done really, really well. And I think Tony Khan has actually picked up on that and actually done something smart, because he's turned it around and he has managed to start booking towards the future, like start booking the matches and building up to the future. So I like that this episode we definitely got a lot of that involved with it. Speaking of the future, we got Moxley backstage. This is where everybody first started to notice the audio issues, from what I could tell.
Yep.
And is the fact of Moxley talking about how he's basically going to take it back to the beginning and show them the reason why he is the IWGP champion, and that Hobbs gets his ass handed to him. So we go to our first official match of the night. Swerve Strickland, or I should say AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland.
Get it right.
Versus the Ring of Honor television champion Kyle Fletcher in an AEW World Title Eliminator match.
That's a good match.
I think it was a good match. I think it definitely suffered from post Dynasty feelings, and because a lot of people think that Swerve shouldn't be wrestling.
That's what I was thinking. I was kind of surprised Swerve was wrestling on the card.
Yeah, people think that Swerve shouldn't have been wrestling. They thought it should have been a championship celebration. But I think this is going to be part of Swerve's thing. I think he's going to be showing why he is the champion, why he is one of the best in the world, why he deserves to wear that belt. Yeah. We definitely had a strong match. All of the others are mine. Kidding, of course. Thank you, Anastasia. I appreciate that. Or is it Australia? I don't know. Because I get forgetful since ABJ changes their name all the time. During this match, we saw the Elite going. We get shown the Elite going into Tony Khan's office. We also get Swerve winning this match via a house call. I think given more time, Swerve and Fletcher could have been a brilliant, it could be a brilliant pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
I think that you could set Swerve and Carl Fletcher up for a future pay-per-view match and have them go, because those two work so well together and they just flow off each other.
Yeah.
I think they could potentially end up on the level of Danielson and Osprey.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. All right, all in.
Yep. Yeah.
All in to lose the title.
Yeah. We then go backstage to Renee, who's with Thunder Rosa, talking about how she lost at Dynasty, but she did put on an impressive match, which not damn wrong. That was an impressive women's match.
Yeah.
We then get Deanna interrupting, and the two get into a fight, which kind of expected them to go back and run this feud back again. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully it leads to a future story with them potentially going for the belt again at some point.
Yeah.
But who knows? What were your thoughts on that segment, Stephen?
It's going to be an interesting feud, Thunder Rosa and Deanna. You know, I kind of thought it would be a 4-way for the title, but the way it looks like they're going to separate it with Deanna and Thunder.
I think it's a good thing, in my opinion, that they move Deanna and Thunder away from the title temporarily.
Yeah.
That they keep Tony Storm pushing to different contenders and different people, because it allows for the product not to get stale and the feuds not to get stale.
Yeah.
So we go to a commercial break after that.
It's going to be a good match, though.
Oh, yeah, it will be. We go to a commercial break. We then come back to a video package of Danielson and Osprey, with Osprey doing the voiceover on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that match is going to go down in history as one of the greatest matches any wrestling company has ever put on. And it plays into what's to come with Osprey. I'm kind of liking how they're keeping the story going with the whole Tiger Driver issue.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Same here. I enjoy it. And what do you think they're going to have their rematch at? Wrestle Dream, or do you think they're going to do it? They're going to do 2 out of 3 falls.
So with how fast they're pushing this, might we get Tony versus Mina at Double or Nothing? I think there is a possibility, but I think it depends, because of what we saw tonight as well, and how they're going to build that, which we were actually coming up to right now. But getting to Stephen's question, I think that Osprey Danielson 2 will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be in London. That will be Osprey's crowning moment for the world title, or it will be Danielson versus McGuinness, or they'll put Danielson in another big match.
Or you can have it All Out, because All Out's week after Wembley.
You need to also think about what the crowd's going to be like as well. So, and you could have it as your big money match. Wish that Deanna versus Rosa wasn't happening on Rampage. You're not wrong.
I agree.
We've got 3 hours of Rampage and Collision this weekend on the Saturday instead of the Friday night. Weird timing, putting Rampage after Collision.
Yeah, it's going to be taped on Rampage.
Mm.
They're taping it after, right now as we speak.
Yeah. We next move on to the Mina Shirakawa versus Anna Jay match,
Mhm.
which Anna got a pretty big pop for what she was, for being close to the hometown girl. Close to, I say close to, obviously. Yeah, I believe it is because of the NBA playoffs. That's why they're not.
Well, not only that, you got the NHL playoffs too, hockey.
There you go.
So that you got besides the NBA playoffs, so there's two of them going on.
Mariah. So Mina wins the match, which I kind of expected. And then we had Mariah May get in the ring with the champagne bottle and go to celebrate, but Anna Jay attacks both Mina and Mariah, goes to lock in the submission move. I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
That's her submission finisher.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell she calls it. Tony Storm makes the save. We then get an unexpected appearance of Serena Deeb coming out.
Well, it's good for Serena to come, get a title match, possibly.
Yep. Serena Deeb comes out, stays on the ramp, picks up Tony Storm's shoes, throws them back, sits down, picks up the belt, and then basically calls her shot. Says she's not coming here to like attack. She's saying she's keeping or she's making a promise that next time she touches that belt, she's going to be the women's world champion.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be a great match, Serena and Tony.
Yeah. I think ABJ was right with what he said in regards to the women. Tony's feuds haven't been the greatest of women, but they've been strong women in the scene.
I think Tony's best match with the title so far was over Dynasty was Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
That was her best match.
We've had Serena Deeb, we've had Thunder Rosa, we've had Deonna Purrazzo, we've had Thunder Rosa, and now we've got Serena Deeb. Three very strong women that in any other way, shape, or form could be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thunder Rosa's been the champion. Deonna Purrazzo was a champion in TNA, and Serena Deeb's been the champion before too.
Yep.
We know that they can hold their own if they need to, and they can hold their own in the division. They're strong contenders. They may not be like the big names, but they're strong contenders for these sort of matches. And I think it's really good having Tony pull those sort of big, strong contenders and being the fights that they are, not just a pushover sort of thing. Yep. What do you think?
Yeah, I love the women's division in AEW. It's going to be a great match,
They're getting a lot stronger with the women's division. I did notice a name was mentioned tonight that we've mentioned previously, but they haven't really mentioned too much. So I'm expecting that person to return at some point, and that was the name of Jamie Hayter.
Yep.
Yeah. So they did mention that. And the DMD, yep.
Yep.
Kai says that Mina is so good in AEW. I'd miss her, but I'd say keep her in AEW. Well, they can't because she's got a match in Stardom on Friday night. So she's probably left the country right now. And
get ready to leave right now, yeah.
Yeah. She's probably on the grounds in the airport getting ready to fly back to Japan right now.
Sipping on some wine.
Look, if she comes back, I'm sure they could build something with her. You could kind of build a mini Stardom faction, especially since you've got Rio as well. So
Yeah.
it would definitely be easy to start building a mini
Well,
faction.
you got Rio, you got Shida.
Yeah. You could build a Japanese faction if you really, really wanted to.
Sakamura.
Yep. We then go to a commercial break. When we've come back from the commercial break, it's time, funnily enough, for the second women's segment of the night. You don't mean instant, just that should be great in AEW full time. Yeah, I can agree with that. So we go to the second women's segment of the night, which is Willow's TBS title celebration. Of course, the attention hog decides
Yes.
to grace Florida with her presence.
We all know what's going to happen.
Mercedes Moné comes out, interrupts the celebration. They talk shit to each other, and then we get, at the end, Willow being slapped by Mercedes.
Actually, Statlander slapped Mercedes, and Mercedes thought was Willow.
No, Statlander grabbed Mercedes.
Oh,
She grabbed her to turn her around, and that's
Okay,
when Willow copped the slap.
okay.
Yeah. If you go back and watch it, you see that Statlander grabs her to turn her back around because of something she said, and then that's when Willow gets slapped by Mercedes, leading to them. Obviously, we know that they're going to face off at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and that build up for that card is going to be terrible.
I am just hoping that Tony Khan might see that the crowd is not behind Mercedes, and he does the right thing and keeps the belt on Willow.
Well,
I don't think it's going to happen, but
Tony Khan's probably more worried how much he's paying Mercedes.
yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. We then go backstage with Alex Marvez. Was it Alex Marvez?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Trying to get a word with the Elite and Jack Perry. None of them talk except for Matt Jackson, who says that Jack Perry will meet TK in the ring tonight, and face to face.
Be interesting.
Segment I was like, oh, this could get very interesting when we get to the actual segment. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
We'll talk about that. But let's not spoil it straight away.
Not just yet.
We then come up to the best match of the night, but also the most confusing match of the night. The Casino Gauntlet match, with the winner obtaining a title shot at the international title. Now, had everyone confused, had ABJ confused 1000%, because he did not listen to it. Like he said, he couldn't hear the show, so he couldn't hear the bloody rules. I was trying to explain.
I didn't hear what the match was. I didn't know the rules either myself because I had the TV muted.
Yeah, I was trying to explain it to him on the chat, but I don't think he was paying too much attention to the chat. So, but the rules of this match were that the match will continue under a Rumble style, without elimination via the top rope, but it comes down to a sudden death, either submission or pin. So the first person to be pinned or submitted, or to submit, is like the first person to do that is obviously the winner. So, like, for example, if it was Danielson and like it was like a rumble, but each competitor could come in at different points.
Yeah.
Lily says, I really wish they would have figured out that audio, but they never did.
Oh,
Yeah. If you go back and watch it on Fight, there was no problems. There was only minute problems with the audio, but not with any of it. It was mainly just when they did the transitions from one area to another,
yeah.
which every company has had a problem with, whether it's AEW or WWE or TNA or WCW. Every single fucking company has had a problem with it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I was ahead with Anthony by a few seconds. I kept my mouth shut when I saw Will Ospreay coming out. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, snap!"
So in this match, we had Jay White, Dante, Penta, Kyle O'Reilly, Will Ospreay, Lance Archer, Commander, Jay Lethal, and apparently potentially 21 more other super or wrestlers that could have entered the match.
They run out of time though.
They would have the show could have just been the whole gauntlet match. It really could have just been the gauntlet match, and I wouldn't be ashamed of that.
What I was telling Anthony in the chat when I was on there, it would be hilarious if Wardlow was in the match and won it.
Yeah. The winner would get a future title shot at the international title, which is currently held by Roderick Strong.
Mm-hmm.
We started this match with Jay Lethal and Dante Martin.
Jay White.
Jay White and Dante Martin. Then we moved to Penta coming out. And then when Kyle O'Reilly came out, see, he's had his fresh haircut and fresh look. He's back to the
looking spiffy.
He's looking very Undisputed Era style.
Yep.
Looking good. I honestly put my eggs in the Kyle O'Reilly basket when that happened. But
I was really root for Kyle until certain somebody came out.
But the very next competitor got the loudest pop of the night, and will continue to get that loudest pop of the night in Will Ospreay.
I've absolutely enjoyed the sequences between Will and Kyle.
100%. The sequence, if we set up a one-on-one match with Kyle and Will, I'm all for it.
Same here.
We got confrontation with also Jay White as well, and those two, remember, like, the history of them, which obviously dates back to New Japan and fighting over the world title and stuff like that. We even got some great spots with Lance Archer, surprisingly, and I'm usually one to pick on Lance Archer.
Well, the first thing I saw when I see him on TV, I was like, he's back from catering.
Yeah. Well, he's back from Japan. He finally got the sushi order right. And then we get Commander coming in, and obviously Jay Lethal being the last competitor to enter the match. I think that this is definitely something that Tony should do going forward. Throw some of these in there throughout the year, but keep it with the bigger names, because that keeps it interesting. Like, the fact that you had Kyle O'Reilly, you had Penta, you had Jay White, you had Will Ospreay in it. Like, shit, that's huge. Like, you not got Ospreay in a singles match, you got Ospreay in a fucking battle royal or a Royal Rumble sort of style to obtain a title shot, and it worked brilliantly. Like,
it was.
Yes, I think because of the audio situation, it pissed a lot of people off, and that's why they thought it was a clusterfuck. But
it was.
At the same time, if you could hear what they were saying and you could hear how this match was going about, you would have been fine. I think it was absolutely amazing. Will Ospreay takes the win here after hitting Commander with a hidden blade, and
Didn't use
then we
his
get
Tiger Driver finisher.
yeah, he was going to at one point he was going to use the Tiger Driver, but then has the second thoughts about it, which once again telling that story straight from Dynasty and going,
Yep.
I'm never going to use it again, and having the second thoughts. Will we see it in the future? Who knows?
We never know.
Could we see it when he goes for the world title and he goes, I'm gonna go all in to win it all?
I say he'll use it all in.
I think that's a good possibility.
Yep.
But we get the Undisputed Kingdom coming out to confront Ospreay.
Yep.
I did notice Wardlow standing off to the side of all the others while you had the others all close together. So clearly we're going with tensions there. I think what you said on Tony's stream that Wardlow costing Roddy the title is probably going to be what happens. And it'll give Ospreay his first gold in AEW.
Yep.
Or he retains, but we still have a fallout with Wardlow.
Or how about Don Callis might cost Will the match?
I wouldn't be surprised because we got in both in the backstage interview that gets comes up after this segment we're going to ignore. We go to in the backstage segment we have Ospreay, Fletcher, and Don Callis talking about how Ospreay won, and then Callis tries to have a go about how Fletcher lost. I see them both leaving that group and reforming the United Empire.
You can get Mark Davis come back from his wrist injury.
Yep. You could even bring Jeff Cobb in or anyone from United Empire over from Japan just to make it solid. Like, fuck, bring in TJP.
Yeah, I was going to say, bring him back. Bring him in AEW, TJP.
Yep.
I bet he'd be pretty good over there here.
What's his name? The other guy.
I think he retired.
Francesco.
I thought it was like an Alex Conklin.
No, Alex Coughlin is Bullet Club, and he had to retire. Yeah. No, they need. Is it Francesco?
Great O'Con?
No, it's not Great O'Con. Give me a sec.
I knew you were talking about the one who got busted open in that match. Pretty good.
No.
That steel cage match? No.
The one who was always afraid of the fight. Yeah, Francesco Akira.
Oh, him. Okay.
Oh, Acura, as they call him. Yeah.
When you mentioned Francisco, I knew you were talking about.
Yeah. Him. Bring him across. He's a fucking star. Yeah. He is a fucking star, and he deserves to be on the fucking show. Like, the dude deserves to be on the show.
Hey, I love to see him come to Forbidden Door.
Yeah. You bring him across and you throw him into a fucking match, like a hardcore match or something, he's going to do amazingly.
Yep.
Guess we have to go over it. It was before that backstage segment. The most annoying person on TV at this point in time that
Titantron really made me barfed.
I like Jericho.
Same here.
I do. But it is getting harder and harder and harder to watch any segment he's in.
Did you see the top of the FTW title? Got his name say the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho on the top of it.
it's getting harder and harder to watch
It
any
is.
segment he's in. I like Jericho. I think he's done some great work, but it is absolutely becoming ridiculous trying to watch him. Kai says Jericho is the most annoying. Max Caster is a very close second. Look, I'd prefer Max Caster over Jericho right now.
Well, I could say this about they probably didn't know what to do with Jericho at the time when Sammy got suspended.
I think it's more the fact of Jericho just needs to leave for a while and let us miss him. Like, just he's old enough that he doesn't need to be there every week. Let the company stand on its own 2 feet.
It's
You know what I mean?
all about him, pretty much.
FTW, fucking tell me why. Why did I have that in the style of Backstreet Boys? I had that in my head as in the style of Backstreet Boys. We're not going there. I'm not going to sing it. No.
Come on, Raz.
No. Yeah.
There you go. They're trying to tip you there, Raz. Come on now.
I don't have donations on this. I'm not monetized.
They're saying it right now in the chat.
Yeah, they can say it. I'm not monetized. If they pay me money, I'll do it. Putting the title on Jericho was a mistake. Look, I think Jericho just needs to leave the company for a while. Just go away. Let us miss him.
Yeah, and there's another head scratcher is Big Bill. It's a head scratcher.
Made no sense.
No.
It made no fucking sense, Stephen. Like, I don't understand why you'd even bring Big Bill out there.
Well, Ricky Starks comes to him and he's leaving, so.
Yes, he does. Just, if not retired, just go away for a long while. Give us like a
3 months
year
off
away.
Get 3 months off. Take time off to All In or something.
Even more than 3 months. Just take like a year off and just let the company build. Let the company build. I know we talk about part-timers. Be a fucking part-timer.
Yeah.
This is the one time I'm requesting. Be a fucking part-timer.
Well, he needs to slow down anyway. He's still touring with his band Fozzy, so he needs to slow down.
Like, I know we talk about the hatred towards part-timers, but Jericho, you've done enough. Be a part-timer.
Go plan another Jericho cruise.
He's already got it planned.
I know, for next year.
He's going to play 15 fucking shows on the cruise. Don't get me wrong. The cruise could be amazing, but I don't think you want to see Jericho play 15 fucking shows at once. Like, as I said, I like Jericho, and it's a big but.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy off camera.
Give us time. Give us time to miss you. Give us time to miss you, Jericho. That's all we ask is for time to miss you.
Well, DM, there's a problem to that. AEW is going to be in Canada next week, so he will be in Canada anyway.
Speaking of AEW being in Canada, let's acknowledge the fact that they announced that the Master Kenny Omega is coming back next week. What are your thoughts on this?
It's going to be very interesting. But I smell a rat, though.
You smell a rat? What do you think's going to happen?
They're going to attack him.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that we're definitely getting something. Because, hey, Do you remember who else is signed with AEW but hasn't been seen on TV in almost a year?
Well, I know we haven't seen Miro in a while.
Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, he's recovering from 2 broken ankles.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him in almost a year.
No.
Do we see him and Kenny return?
Well, it depends on how Kenny's health.
Yeah.
But we might see Coda at Forbidden Door, maybe.
Yeah. Kai says it's going to be a promo, possibly something we don't want to hear. But he's going into surgery, so I doubt he's going to be taking any bumps.
Well, he's from Winnipeg, so that's his hometown. So
attack him, which leads to a storyline cover for his surgery. Yep. I see that. And yes, Miro equals Rusev, right? Yes. Going to this, what Rob said. Attack him, which leads into a storyline cover. I think that could be the very thing that we get from them.
Well, there's another thing to mention too. Well, we'll go to later on to involve that storyline.
Yep.
Which we'll go into that in a little bit here.
Our last match of the night we get is Moxley versus Will Hobbs for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
This was nothing special.
Wow.
It could have been. You could have drug up the whole 4 years ago when Hobbs was brought into the company and those two teamed up and shit like that. But there was nothing behind it really. We knew that Moxley was going to win. He won via submission. I think a cold submission that I think they needed to pull the time because they realized, oh shit, if we go too long, we're going to cause problems with the actual show. So,
that's a wrestler, Hobbs. That's who I question AEW as far as how they're booking him. They're not really booking him right.
How would you book him, Stephen?
Well, he's not been wrestling very much to begin with.
Yeah, but how would you book him?
Since he's with John Callis' family, he's been booking more matches than what he was before. But I think Hobbs probably would have been a TNT champion, in my opinion.
How would you book his style? Like, what would you book him in? What sort of matches would you book for him?
Well, face or heel, it don't matter.
Don't matter. You choose.
Hobbs versus Archer.
Okay.
Or Hobbs versus Miro.
I could see that.
Well, I've already seen Hobbs versus Wardlow before, so that wouldn't count.
How would you book him story-wise?
Story-wise, good question.
That's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
I get you want to see him. I get you want to see him match-wise.
Well, he's better. He's a good wrestler. He's better. Good talent.
He's definitely a great wrestler. But how do you book him story-wise? Do you book him as a monster heel or a Goldberg style?
Well, he's better as a heel so far than a babyface.
Or do you book him as the Book of Hobbs guy who has a back catalogue of wrestlers he wants to destroy? I
didn't like that Book of Hobbs gimmick, to tell you the truth.
Like, do you book him as the lone gunman sort of character?
Yeah, like a loner type character.
Yeah, like the loner type character where he's the guy who has a axe to grind and people don't know his motives,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the problem. It's pro wrestling. How do you book that?
That's true. How you can get fans to enjoy it too. It's another thing too.
Yeah, how are you going to get fans to invest and enjoy that sort of thing? Kai even says that it's hard to fantasy book in AEW because their roster is so huge with so many names. You can't really build a top star when those spots are too full. I agree but disagree there, Kai. I agree but disagree. Look at Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, because he's a character.
Orange, as much as we may deny it, Orange Cassidy is a top fucking star in that company.
You might as well mention somebody else that we don't hardly like, Darby Allin.
Yeah, as much as we may not like it, Darby Allin is a top star in that company. They're people who, a lot of us in our group of friends and stuff may not like Darby's way of being booked and stuff, but there are people out there who love the shit that he does
Mm-hmm.
and eat it up and be like that. He's a small guy. He looks like me. I can do this and I can beat up the big guy.
Yeah, watch a 140, 150 pound guy beat up a 350, 375 pound.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that match, we get Takeshita calling out Moxley for the IWGP Championship.
Tell you the truth, I'd rather see that match than Mox versus Hobbs.
Now, we also have, you guys probably didn't hear it because of the audio issues, but Moxley also turned around and said he's going to kill Ren Narita.
Yeah.
Because he's facing Ren Narita for the title at some point.
I think it's this weekend.
Yeah. Kai says Orange Cassidy is great and Darby is Darby, but I wouldn't call them top stars. Popular, but not top stars. But they've also been there from the start when there was less names. Orange Cassidy is definitely a top fucking star in that company. You can fight anyone on that. This dude carried the fucking half of the company on his back with that international title. He fucking is a workhorse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way,
workhorse.
By the way, Anthony made fun of Tashida. His pants looks like MC Hammer.
See, Kai, Lily wants to fight you now. Look at what you've done, Kai. Think about what you've done. Sit in the naughty corner, Kai. And Alex, thank you for joining us. I know.
Hey, welcome, Alex.
It's always good to see you on our Twitch side, keeping our Twitch stream alive. We're actually coming close to the very end of this segment of this show, actually, because we're almost at the end of the show. So,
yeah.
We then go backstage to Shibata challenging Chris Jericho for the FTW Championship. I fucking love Shibata.
I love Shibata, but I'm sorry, but I am just not interested in Shibata versus Jericho for Dynamite next week.
I was more referring to the main event scene. I love Orange, not taking anything away from him. You can throw Orange into the main event scene. When he faced Park and Kenny Omega, he was in the main event scene. You can put Orange into that main event scene and he will fucking hold his own. I know, and that's what I mean there. He is a top, that's why I see him as a top star, because he is a guy who can work the lower class names and he can work the big names.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to Shibata, I love the fact of him using that Translate app all the time and then commenting on Renee's outfits and stuff. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, this is about that match next week. This is where Big Bill comes in.
Yep.
Will help Jericho win.
When he rolled out against Puck in his first match in AEW, you knew he could make it to the main event. You're not fucking wrong. You are not wrong there, Alex. That is exactly, it's exactly that. And this show is shorter because I'm not on there gushing over Joshi for an extra hour. No, it's just because this show was average at best for AEW. It definitely was not one of their strongest shows, and there are things that just we didn't need to go into too much detail over. Back to what I was saying though, Shibata challenging and the way he's using that translator app, it's just brilliant. I think it works for his character,
Yeah.
having those little extra moments thrown in. And obviously Shibata just lets the talking, the wrestling do the talking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree. I just mean at this current time, he's not in their main event scene. He 100% could be. You're right. He's not in there at this time.
Yeah.
We're talking about Orange again. He's not in there at this time, but he doesn't need to be in there at this time.
Oh.
He doesn't need to be going for a world title. He's just fucking carried the international title on his back for almost a year and a bit. Had feuds where he should be dead, and had matches where he should be dead. And
well, it would be cool to see Orange get like the TNT title.
I think
We might see it in the near future.
that's more set up for Malachi though. At the moment, yeah. We now move on to the main event of the evening. Jack Perry. The first appearance of Jack Perry on AEW live programming on Commercial Network. I say Commercial Network because he was on the pay-per-view. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Live on the show, coming out to the ring. He calls out Tony Khan. Says that he wants to change the world. Asks Tony Khan to shake his hand and reinstate him. We'll continue that thought in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like my point was, I was attempting to make right now, the current main event scene is so full, you couldn't really take someone and build them into that spot. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but they've proven you wrong by pushing Swerve into that main event spot as well. So you're a
Yeah.
But that's a different story. So Jack Perry and Tony Khan shake hands. Jack Perry turns around and punches TK in the gut.
I thought Perry's going to give him a low blow, kick through between the legs.
I thought something else was going to happen with him. I thought he was going to hit like a finisher or something. The Elite come out, they stop him. Then as they're lifting him up, it looks like they're going for the EVP trigger.
Yeah.
Okada stops them. And then they turn it right around into the EVP driver. Now, I have multiple things wrong with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything wrong with him attacking Tony Khan. I don't have anything wrong with the Elite attacking Tony Khan. The things I have wrong is that the microphone was not used to continue to verbally assault Tony Khan.
Yeah.
After / during the beatdown. And the fact of the Elite walk backstage and then the roster comes out.
After the beatdown. Yeah.
After he's already been beat down, the roster comes out after the Elite have walked backstage, and they all come from the backstage area. Like,
yeah.
My problems with this is that is not fucking logical. Your boss just got the shit kicked out of him. If you support him, you go down there to defend him.
Yeah.
I think one thing that is huge, the ending of that, we see one person on that screen who I did not expect to ever see on AEW Dynamite. Tony's dad.
Yep. The owner of the Jaguars. Yep.
The owner of the Jaguars, the owner of like the multi-billionaire Shad Khan. Like, he was live on Dynamite.
Yep.
Do you think we are building to a AEW versus the Elite sort of situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May see that happening.
Kai says, I just hate the fact they tried to justify the Punk footage as it made Perry a star, only for this to happen. Put those eyes off Perry and put them back on the Bucks.
Hey, when they saw that footage, you know Perry's going to come back.
I don't think it took the eyes off of Perry. I think it threw Perry back into the mix and made him a heel that it's a heel that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that you guys didn't hear it, but he said to the crowd, "Fuck you. Where were you for 8 months?"
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys didn't hear it on the audio, but that's what he said to the crowd. He said, "Fuck you. Where have you been for 8 months?" Like, this is the thing. I think that, yes, the Bucks are heels as well, so we're keeping them in. They're keeping him in line with them. I think eventually this is going to make Perry even bigger than the Bucks. Obviously, I think Perry could be a big level star out of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you need to market it and push it the right way.
Well, I'll guarantee you this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Russ.
No, you say what you're going to say.
I'll guarantee you this now. Since Omega is going to be here next week, you know the Bucks are going after Omega, the Elite. So watch the wrestlers will show up right before they try to attack Omega next week.
True.
So, I'm sorry, but go ahead and finish what you're saying, my friend. You there, Raz?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, just responding. Sorry, I needed to respond to a text message. Sorry.
No problem.
So like looking at Twitter, everyone stopped talking about him. It's all about the Bucks attacking Tony. The thing is, it was all of them attacked. Well, technically, all of them. Carter didn't really touch Tony. He didn't really touch Tony. It was more. I think we see BCC as an unlikely ally or FTR.
I can see FTR leaving, though, because of Cash Wheeler.
You reckon?
Court trial date coming up.
Yeah, true. I think we're going to be entering a very interesting time for AEW here and how they go forward with it. They need to build a strong momentum around Jack Perry.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Build the fucking massive momentum around Jack Perry and shit will explode.
Yeah.
Other than that, that ends the Dynamite show. What are your thoughts overall? What do you think you see going forward?
I think we might have blood and guts set up. What do you think, Raz, with the Elite?
I could see it. I could see Tony picking a team.
Yeah.
And maybe going to the BCC or FTR and going, I need you guys to be my guys in the ring. Like,
yep.
Or even going with, yeah.
Yep.
Perry's attack was immediately forgotten. Oh my God, it's Cody. Elite versus the Elite. I mean, yeah. Who knows?
Well, we know Omega's not going to be 100%, though. We ain't going to be Kenny Omega in that match, so I'll tell you that right now.
Of course not. Kenny's nowhere near ready to come back.
No.
Diverticulitis is a long-term issue, and it takes a lot to recover from. So,
and Brock almost died from that, too.
Yep, Brock almost died. You have to change your diet. You have to change the way you live.
Yep.
You have to be careful, otherwise you're gonna end up either in hospital or in the ground, one of the two. I guess we'll find out on the next episode of AEW Dynamite.
Yep.
Because we won't find out on Collision.
No, but there was a couple of good matches on Collision, though.
Yeah, there's definitely a few things coming up on Collision. It's going to be a good show. I just don't like that Rampage is right after it.
And I can't believe they put the Thunder Rosa Purrazzo match on Rampage. That should have been on Collision.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it here. We're probably going to end the show here because we have gone over the whole show. I appreciate everyone being in the chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. Throw a panda under the bus if you really want to. There's like a lot of things that are coming in regards to this channel. We are slowly but surely adding a few more things. We will be doing some more watch-alongs. We will be adding some merchandise as well. Speaking of that, which if you, I'm about to put it up on the screen. These are available now via the Ben Frank Connection fanny packs.
Cool.
So you've got your options. You've got the Lily fanny pack. You've got the Raz and Steven fanny pack. You've got the Opinion City fanny pack. You've got the ABJ fanny pack. Or you can get everyone's all together in the Ben Frank Connection via the Opinion City Spring store or T Public store. You can get them there. So those are available now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. TJ Pretty threw a panda on a train, not a bus though. Yes, they do look awesome.
Yeah, they do.
I think Palmer did really well on those. But as I said, you want to grab some merchandise, they are up on the Opinion City store at the moment, or I believe they're live on the Opinion City store. You can see that they're in the Winged Eagle style. If you check out my link tree, that has some links to my merchandise. We will be getting Steven some merchandise done as well. We'll be getting some stuff up there for him as well.
Yep.
There you go. We are live, baby.
Yeah,
So,
we are.
As Palmer says, we are live. You can grab those now. All proceeds from those will go to help support the Ben Frank Connection, and it will keep us on the air as well. So you get a fanny pack. FTR MJF pack, Wardlow versus the Bucks versus Okada, Perry, and Hangman, and you get a fanny pack.
It's going to be a very, very big fanny pack to wear put on my way.
And the blood, and so this is what Rob was saying: FTR, MJF, Pac, and Wardlow versus the Bucks, Okada, Perry, and Hangman in Blood and Guts. I don't see that.
No, but I'd rather see Undisputed Kingdom versus MJF and Wardlow in Blood and Guts. Yeah. They're on that area there, but I don't know about against the Elite. Yeah.
Other than that, we are going to get out of here for the night, guys. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. It has been great. Everyone gets a fanny pack if you go buy them now from the Teespring or the T Public. They are on sale right now. Once again, friends, I've been Raz. That's been Steven. We appreciate you for being here, and we will see you again soon.
Have a good night.
Okay, thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.